Even with the Kamen Rider X's survival and god fall, in the next week that show had to be finished for contract reasons, followed by the onslaught of the savage Geddon. They were beasts from Amazon forest, fueled by human blood and led by 10-faced demon Golgas, whose goal is rule the world with their Gaga armlet stolen from Incan science and magic. Elder Bago, last of the tribe, gives a second artifact to the boy Daisuke Yamamoto, raised by him since he was found in the jungle as a child after a plane crash. With the Gigi bracelet, Daisuke gains the power to become Kamen Rider Amazon, that runs to his hometown, Japan, while is followed by Geddon, who died in episode 14 on January 18, 1975. However, the Garanda Empire assumes the role of villain, claiming descent from Parthian's dynasty. They were led by the cruel Zero the Great, a body double who poses for the real Empire's ruler, who was executed by Amazon in the last episode, broadcasted in March 25. The following week, we meet Black Satan, a society that spread bugs that posses and manipulate people. However, they are deceived by Shigeru Joe. He was a young who infiltrates the villains and allows himself to be modified into Kamen Rider Stronger to avenge a friend murdered by them. Allying with Yuriko, the Shockwave cyborg girl Tackle and other Black Satan's creation, Stronger firstly fights Titan, a Cyclops high officer and former particularly criminal. He had an obsession with destroying Shigeru, mainly after being defeated in EP-13 on June 28 and after the arrival of his rival General Shadow, one of the denizens of our underground race. By the condition of win or die, Titan submitted to dangerous upgrades procedures, as a form with 100 eyes assessed, thanks a drop of blood from Stronger's metal hands. None of this was enough, and with the definitive death of this executive, the dead lion was summoned from Egypt in EP-24 of 09-13, only to be knocked down 2 weeks later alongside the spider monster, that was the whole time Black Satan great leader. Then General Shadow returns to his native kingdom, and brings with him the Delza army made up of several cyborg demons, promising them leadership position to the one who executes Shigeru and Yuriko. Unfortunately, in EP-30 on 10/25, Tackle is poisoned by the plumed coxcomb drive. Kate, and even though defeating the villain, she dies, leaving Stronger alone. The following week, he desperately goes after a former Black Satan scientist to place his body with the super electronic dynamo that disperses an extra energy which makes him 100 times more powerful than normal. The hero only can use this silver form called Charge Up for 1 minute or he would explode, then use this new ability to pulverize Major Skull. Reaching the final stretch of the series, in EP-35 on 11/29, old riders gradually return to support Shigeru, starting with Shiro, Rider V3, when together they defeat the blood-sucking Snake Woman. The next week, X and Amazon appear in combat against the new officers, Martial Machine, Commander Jishaku and Armored Knight, in addition to the return of Riderman in the following EP. Ichigo and Nigu, the only missing riders, appear on 12/20. Then in the last episode, number 39, the show ends with the glorious union of the 7 riders to finish once and for all the leader of Delza, a great alien brain hidden inside a giant rock monster. Despite 4 years of peace, in the shadows of society Shocker was reforming as the Neo-Shocker organization, doing various disappearances and terrorist attacks around the world by the faith that human race is an infestation upon the planet, consuming its resources carelessly and this would bring extinction in the near future. At October 5, 1979, the young hang-gliding lover, Hiroshi Tsukuba, is modified into a new hero and his first commander to face was General Monster, a Nazi who had worked alongside Colonel Zoll from the first Kamen Rider series, and was in charge of putting an end to the flying cyborg. 16 episodes later, at January 25, 1980, General Monster is eliminated, even using his gecko form Yamarajin, and replaced by Admiral Majin. Eventually, to boost the series, the first 7 riders, or as they call themselves, Legendary Riders, appear in the series to help Hiroshi and naming him Skyrider. The first to team up was Stronger on EP-21 of February 22. 2 weeks later, it was V3 turn. In March 28, Riderman and X joined Hem, until all were gathered the following episode, as promotion to the movie that was in theaters at that time, 8 Riders vs Ginger O. This crossover resulted in an upgrade to Hiroshi's uniform, increasing the orange and green tones in his suit, an evolution flowing with the power of his 7 mentors by training with them. For the next 12 episodes, each rider would continue to appear separately, always with one of them helping Hiroshi. In the final 3 months of the series, Sky Rider fought alone, until in EP 52 on September 26, when Admiral Majin exhausted his great leader's patience, he pretends to pose as Hiroshi's lost father in a final gambit to kill him in a suicide bomb attack, fatally failing. The only enemy missing was their leader, a giant dragon titled Emperor of the Dark Nebula. He was an alien, keeping his identity hidden from his followers, human sacrifices and worshippers. The great leader was willing to destroy all of Earth's oxygen, rendering the planet uninhabitable to anyone. However, the 8 riders united managed to stop his plans, taking him and the bomb to space at October 10th. In the next video I will be bringing you the final part of this playlist, okay? Jaw Na.